Let's go, bub.
Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut!
When you muted us and didn't realize you guys can't see me.
Say that again, Shelly. We only talked
I said I tried to use sign language,
Oh.
and then I realized you couldn't see me.
Right.
That's not gonna work. I'm sorry.
Yes, sign language for the blind. It's about as effective
go.
as braille driving for. It's kind of sticking your
Braille
cane.
on the drive-throughs.
Kind of sticking your.
That just scares me.
Well, that's what I forget who used to tell me that, but they were trying to tell me when I was younger. It's like that's why you have those bumps like right at the off ramp. It's to tell you, it's for the blind people. Let them know that they can. That's where they can turn. And I'm like,
that's funny.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
That explains why some people drive the way they do in Oklahoma
It does.
or Arkansas.
Alrighty, so we're all here. Unfortunately, Shelly is having some internet problems, so that big black spot you see where she's normally at, that's her voice. So she is here with us.
Yes, I am.
Hence the jokes about attempting to sign at us when she doesn't have video. So she can see us, but not the other way around. So everybody, welcome back. We are back in action for the first game of October. We will not have a game in 2 weeks because we will actually be traveling. Some of us will be traveling up to Utah to see some of the Utahians, the Utah folks. So we'll be off that particular weekend, and then we'll be back in 2 weeks after that. So we need to do Karma, and I
Yes.
believe we have 3 people in this game with a birthday this month, correct?
Yeah. I'm one of them.
Alrighty. So who here would like to roll our... Well,
I'll roll regular karma because I
Okay.
ain't stealing nobody's birthday karma.
okay.
We have an 8.
Times 50.
Nice.
400.
I need a character sheet.
Character
That
sheets would be
normally
good, yes. And Davy Jones says, happy birthday to everybody.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
And since it's October, fangs a lot. Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, I would get that type of response from my son Colin too.
I'm avoiding the puns, unlike the Crypt Keeper would.
Yep. Or like I would come up to him and I'd pull out like a fake knife and I'd be like, "Knife to meet you."
I gotta tell
How
you a
much
story
karma
about
did you
something,
get?
something like that after the end of the game.
400.
So 400
far.
for the monthly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So who wants to roll for birthday?
I guess I can.
Okay.
Birthday
So
girl.
go ahead, same method. Go ahead and roll, but times 3 after that.
What am I rolling?
D10.
100.
So it's D10 times 50.
6.
So
So 300.
300 times 3.
900.
100. Holy cow.
So
1300.
400 plus 900, 1300 karma.
And I'm going to bank all of it.
Smart. If you're banking it, however, please make sure you are notating where it's being banked.
Yes.
In the bank.
So speaking of that, now that I have a ton, I'm gonna put 500 more in my bank, and that would allow me to actually get the next rank of resources.
Ooh, there you go.
That
Can
gets
I
me
do my
to
power roll?
remarkable.
I'm banking all of the 1,300 as well.
No power stunts at this particular game. We actually left off, which actually is a great segue
that's
into the
right.
recap. We left off right in mid-scene. You guys were attempting to secure an entire family, getting them into the country under political asylum.
That's right.
I had just worked out all the easy to do details with the head of
Aegis?
Aegis. Steelport Aegis.
Steelport?
Did I say that wrong again?
Yeah. Where did Steelport come from? Because
I've never been to Steelport.
yeah, that actually sounds kind of rad.
It's Strongford in an alternate
Strongford.
universe.
Oh, Strongford in an alternate. Okay, yeah. So Steelport. I like that. I need to.
It's like the evil version of our universe, you know. Steelport.
See what you guys don't know is I'm going to start taking note of all those botched names, and they're going to appear in like an alternate universe or something. and then it's really going to mess with you. You're like, wait, and what did it? Wait, no, it's actually Fair Street. It's actually it's Fairview.
Street Fair.
Fear Street.
We come in one day and he accidentally has us playing. He accidentally has us playing in the wrong universe.
Wait a second.
Yeah, there are street signs for like Steelport, and we're like, oh yeah, this is where I live.
Yeah, and you're like, wait a minute.
Mandela effect.
Why am I seeing signs to go to Latveria?
Teleportarium? What's that?
And who's this animalistic guy with claws that keeps calling me Bub?
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah, he's actually in our trailer too. I've got 2 sound clips from Wolverine.
Okay. Since we're playing this game, did y'all see the aviation commercial wrapped around Deadpool 3, or was it just me?
I didn't see any commercials.
I didn't
but
see
I
an aviation commercial, no. But I wouldn't be surprised if he did that.
Yeah. Me
So,
either.
in one of the scenes, he's actually pouring himself, label out, as always, aviation gin.
Right.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay. Got it.
And I've been joking ever since that we didn't get the announcement of Deadpool 3. It's a Deadpool-themed aviation gin commercial.
Right.
Oh.
Gotcha.
The only thing I'm surprised that wasn't there was Mint Mobile.
Gotcha. Well, his soccer team is actually sponsored by Aviation Gin, so their jerseys actually have that emblazoned on their jerseys.
Has there been any confirmation, or is it still just rumor mill that Hugh Jackman is reprising Wolverine?
Oh no, it
in
was
Deadpool
confirmed.
3?
I've
Yes.
Was
seen
it confirmed?
3
yeah.
posters with them in it together.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They've
Yes.
had like 3 trailers together, and Hugh Jackman's even reposted it on his social media. So yeah, he's going to be in it.
Nice.
So I wonder if it's just like the Tating Chanum cameo that was in This Is the End, if this is the same thing that basically happened. They simply walked up to him and asked him if he wanted to do it.
Oh. Well, they did that in Deadpool with Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt was in Deadpool too.
For what, all of 3 frames?
Yeah, he was the invisible guy.
Yep.
Guess how much they charged him?
Nothing.
How
It was
much
like
they paid him?
it was like the
Okay.
donuts that he got through conversation.
A cup of coffee.
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
like he asked me if he wanted to be in it. And he said how much did he want, and it's like the cup of coffee and donuts that he had. He's like, yeah, we're good.
Awesome.
I think we could work that out.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, anyways, back in character. So where we left off, you guys have just gotten finished getting off the phone with Danvers, to try and secure the political asylum for this whole family.
FYI, fighting and agility just went up to a GD10.
Okay.
Nice.
Please
They
make sure
were-
I need updated character sheets. I've been asking about that, and I think I've only gotten like 1 or 2.
I haven't made any changes yet
I know I sent mine to you.
because I'm dumb.
Did you send us a blank PDF or something?
I don't know,
Or
but
do you just want a picture?
no. I would like no. Anytime I get an updated character sheet, I always want the PDF.
Okay.
Yeah,
you send a
definitely don't want
PDF
the
in
picture.
chat again
That's
or
not
something?
quite as easy to deal with.
Can you send out a PDF when we want here in the next whenever again?
I think
the
it's
character sheet
still.
itself?
I think it's still in the chat
Is it? I'll
Mhm.
look.
because I know Dale sent out one.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Gesundheit.
Thank you.
So
Okay, I
at
feel
this
weird about
point,
people seeing me sneeze.
that's fine. So at this point, everybody is still at the office of the Aegis Foundation in Buenos Aires. The family right now is still currently kind of in a waiting pattern, and in one of the conference rooms that they've got there, just kind of all huddled around.
I thought I sent Shion back to the other 3 so they can move the people into the Aegis building.
Weren't you going to be setting them up at the hotel?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot exactly where we left off. I know we made a lot of plans
Mm-hmm.
to transfer them from their house to the hotel, and then once we get the asylum set up, from the hotel to Aegis and Strongford. But I
Yes.
forgot where we left off on that, and that's because I have a bad memory.
That's okay. Well, at this point, then with that, since there's a little bit of break in time, Shone can take a moment to teleport them into the waiting rooms that you've got for them at the hotel.
Okay. Poof.
And I'm not going to make you roll for it. It's not difficult. You know where it's at. You're doing 2 jumps. You got a couple people apiece, and you were done. So poop, 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 poop. Back and forth, back and forth. I'm leaving it up to the rest of you. What are you doing from here?
Shim's gonna stay with the family.
Okay. So you're back at the hotel rooms.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the call back.
Yes. Once we receive that call, we should be able to then deliver all of the Alonsos. Afterwards, we should then see about making our way to the restaurant across the way from the Alonsos so that we can infiltrate and determine more about the Heinrichs in the area.
Maybe Sagan and I can set up shop and just wait. I can cloak us and we can just wait there and keep watch.
That can work. Excellent.
So to reiterate, then, are you waiting to go to the restaurant?
We are, I'd say, we're either in the restaurant or like outside the restaurant or like watching the street outside the restaurant.
Well, that's 3 pretty different options.
Well, I don't remember the details of what we said was. So the restaurant is where they do their business, right?
It's believed so, yeah. That was the rumor that the grandmother kind of shared with you.
Yeah.
Is there somewhere in the restaurant that we can, like some corner that we can hide away in so that we won't be in the way, but also I can cloak us so we won't be noticed?
So you want to go in unnoticed? and like just hide somewhere in one of the corners?
If that's feasible.
I mean,
Otherwise,
sure.
otherwise we could just wait outside.
It's not like obfuscate. The only problem you're going to run into is if you get into a corner in the restaurant and you stay invisible, there's a chance somebody might walk into you.
That's what I'm asking. Is there a corner out of the way that it looks like people wouldn't be going to?
So you want to scout it first, then go inside invisible.
I guess there's no way that we would know that from the outside.
Right.
Let's just wait outside.
Okay. So kind of case the place.
Yeah.
Okay. And who is with you? Just you and Sagan?
Unless anybody else wanted to come.
Hyperion will come along because everyone else, like, it doesn't take that many people to make sure that the Alonzos are taken care of and teleported back. Once we get the call that they can do that.
Okay.
And what is Ixion doing during this time frame?
I don't know.
Derek, were you gone last time?
Mm-mm.
No, he was here.
No, I was here.
He was here, yeah.
Okay. I can't
I was
remember.
here. I missed D&D, but I didn't miss last superheroes.
Okay.
And we're at the hotel right now.
Correct. Yes.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's not anything pressing. I mean, I guess I could go along too, unless we're just standing guard for them, or I don't know.
I mean, really, that's what it's coming down to. It's like, do you want to split up your group and some case the place to keep an eye on it, and then the others to watch the family, or do you just all want to go to case the place? How do you want to break that up?
We can split this in half to ensure that the allowances are safe. Therefore, Angler will be here to wait for the call from Aegis Foundation to make sure that we can actually transport them and that their asylum is secured. Of course, then Shone will be teleporting them as she can, and then return here. In the meantime, Xenofreeze, make sure you stand here and stand guard, just in case something goes awry. Meanwhile, Lightbringer, Sagan, and myself will then case the Heinrich location to see if we can determine anything before doing any type of infiltration or other reconnaissance. Once the team here is actually done transporting individuals, contact us. Any questions?
So how tall is this hotel?
2 stories.
2 stories is all?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a roof access?
Not unless you went to the outside.
Oh, so nothing from the inside?
No.
Is there any concealable place outside that I could
Well, I
manipulate
mean,
myself towards?
you're in essence liquid. So really define how you want to turn to a puddle and hang out is what it comes down to. Unless you want to, stay in your physical form and just kind of hang out somewhere. Otherwise, you can really kind of make that up as you go. Like you could be by a dumpster someplace and pretend to be like a puddle of sewage goo.
Sounds good to me. Somewhere near the front door.
Okay. So then you position yourself so near the front door. Let me clarify then. Front door of the hotel rooms or front to the hotel itself?
The hotel itself.
Okay. Well, the hotel itself, for visual purposes, it's like a 2-story L shape with a little parking lot in the middle. So if you're gonna turn yourself into a puddle of goo or whatever, you can just hang out underneath one of the air conditioner units and let it drip on you.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't bother me any.
Yeah, you just kind of blend in with the water and just Look like they got
And
a drip
with
problem.
my mimic capability. I mean, this is nothing technical, so I could be a shadowed liquid or
Yeah.
watery looking or
Yeah.
yeah.
That'll work. Okay.
Okay. And since I really don't have eyes, I can see anyway.
Sure.
I mean, you know.
Okay,
Okay.
so sounds like you guys are set up then. So the three of you watching the place. The restaurant itself is actually sitting in a nicer block of the city. The building itself is older, but it looks like care has been taken to remodel it. So it's up to 90s standards at this point. So it looks very commercial. The whole area is well and kept. Trees and a little has some garden pots and whatnot up front. The block itself has a very European kind of flair to it. As far as the stores in the vicinity of this particular restaurant. It's nice looking, and it looks like it's pretty busy. It's got people coming in and out at a brisk pace. It looks like they're doing quite a bit of business. People coming, and it's not just white folks. It looks like they're serving pretty much anybody that comes in. But it does look purposely a little niche. Just from looking on the outside, you can see the hostess sitting up front has a very kind of Austrian, early Austrian sort of look. Like Lederhosen.
Lederhosen?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
That too.
Can we tell? So, like, is the establishment busy right now?
Yes.
Or okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they've got people coming in and out. They've got, and you can see just from where you're kind of hanging out across the street, it's got 3 big windows up front, where people can sit on the inside of the restaurant. They don't have blinds currently pulled because the sun right now is not currently shining. It's shining down. It's not shining into the windows. So the people, you can see, several families lined up, sitting at the tables, and some cycling in and out as they go and being served food and whatnot. So if any business is taken care of here, pains seems to have been taken to keep it very much on the down low.
Okay. It would seem that we would need to actually infiltrate to determine what's happening inside.
Could we walk around the perimeter and see if there are any other doors that we would need to watch?
We can. We may want to do that invisibly. You may want to do that alone or with Sagan. That way we don't draw attention to ourselves.
Well, I assumed that I would already be cloaking us all.
Oh yeah, that was the assumption. You guys are hanging out across the street, completely invisible.
Okay, cool.
But also I can't cloak noise, so that's just a FYI.
Then let's investigate the back of the establishment to see if there are any other entryways.
Okay. Just give me basic agility checks at this point.
I'll be right back.
Alrighty.
God, no, that's gonna be that's a fail no matter what result.
Oof.
I got a 20.
All right.
Clankety, 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 clankety,
Let's see
clankety.
what my... Hang on. I thought I opened...
You're like a knight in loose plate mail jogging.
Yeah.
Okay.
With bells on.
Agility is remarkable, so...
We trip over all the things.
Not quite. 20 doesn't quite make it.
Right.
Yep. You're walking on a flat sidewalk and you trip and fall down.
So as you go down the side alley, Looks like the alleyway next to the storefronts in the restaurant here is one where delivery trucks might come through. So the road isn't quite as well paved. But walking down there, it's not like you stumble or fall or anything. But as you're walking along, you miss the puddle in front of you, so you guys walk right through. It's blah 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 blah. It's not life threatening per se, but it's noticeable if anybody's watching.
Like, oh my gosh, we just stepped in Ixion's cousin.
Oops.
But walking around the backside, you do see that there is a large double door used for deliveries here. So there's what appears to be a staff entrance back here as well, like a basic back door, and a delivery entrance, which is a little bit bigger.
I think watching the back door might be more fruitful than watching the front door.
I agree. Looking around here, are there any delivery trucks that are hanging out or any deliveries being made now?
Not currently, no.
Okay.
So you just hang out and observe the back alley at this point?
I think for now, actually, I believe I'm going to head out to the front and simply sit and wait, make sure that I'm not standing out, even though I won't be covered by your invisibility. You and Sagan can stay here while I watch the front. That way we're watching both sides at the same time.
That sounds like a good idea.
Okay. So you split up again. He goes walking out to the front. So at this point, as you kind of just casually walk back out of her invisibility and walk across the street, where you post up to kind of, like on a park bench, where you're across the street where you're at is like a stretch of parking lot and then another shopping mall behind that. So it's a very commercial area where you're at, but there's a bench that you can sit on where it looks like public transit comes around. So you can camp out there if you'd like and just observe. It might not be super noticeable because you could be using public transport. But you can see that there's a newspaper stand right next to it. And in big, bold letters, Menace to Society. And it's got some guy in a completely black outfit with cat-like ears kind of coming off the top. Not
those furries.
Not big. More closer to the head itself, and it looks like he's probably swinging by a rope or something with a handle.
Catman. No.
If it's in one of those like machines, I go ahead and put in whatever I need to get the paper and like read the article to see what's going on.
Yeah, you put in a peso.
Handy that he speaks Spanish now.
See.
So, what you end up seeing, the story behind it, I should say. It's pretty basic. It says, some costume vigilante by the name of Fury was caught once again, breaking and entering, fighting with what appear to be authority figures, and it's believed might have been behind theft of some money. Think J. Jonah Jameson style article about Spider-Man.
That's what I was kind of getting from this.
Like the picture looks very much like it's some super type swinging into action, but the article itself is, it's a menace to society.
Okay. from the look on the picture, would I be able to tell if it was a masculine figure or a feminine figure?
Masculine.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, definitely. The way the suit is being worn, he's rocking some guns.
Okay.
Oh, he's ready for the major pump.
All right. Then I'll be using that paper as additional, cover for me just hanging out on the bench while I'm scoping out the front of the place.
Sure. Okay. Give me an intuition check, Lightbringer.
So real quick, while they're doing that, I'm going to continue to read through the English to Spanish translation dictionary.
Mm-hmm.
That way I can try to absorb as much as the language as I can, even if it's out of syntax.
Sure.
I'm gonna change my dice.
Okay.
29, which is barely in the white. Barely, but still in the white.
Oh.
Hopefully my friend is paying more attention than I am. Maybe I'm distracted by
Did you just call her your friend?
whatever companion.
That was kind of nice.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Hopefully she has telepathy. She could pick up on that compliment.
I do have telepathy, and I did pick up on the compliment.
And now all of a sudden, the angler is suspicious.
My ears are burning.
From across Buenos Aires, a little side bubble appears above his character, and it says, "Angler is sus."
Oh no.
Anyways, so as you're kind of watching, you were looking another direction. Maybe you looked back over towards Mark to see if you could spot him, and that's when you get elbowed a bit by Sagan as you see the door start to come open. Side door, not the delivery one.
The side door.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I will look where she's pointing.
Okay, so side door comes open, and you see two men start coming out the back. And just as they start coming out the back, a nice-looking sedan starts rolling down the alley. From the opposite direction. So the way it's rolling, it's going to go past you and out to the street in which you guys came from.
Is there a license plate number?
There is, yes.
Can I roll to? Since I don't want to be. I don't want to verbalize because people might hear us.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to use telepathy and let Mark know.
Okay.
4.
Okay. So hastily, Mark, in your mind, you end up hearing what is the mental equivalent of the Bruce Almighty scene, where he's getting Evan Baxter to speak gibberish in front of the camera. So she was on it. I mean, she knew she had to phone that in real quick, and what you ended up hearing was like in your mind, just like you could not make out anything she said.
Then I use the communicator, but like under my breath, be like, Lightbringer, I didn't catch your communication. Please repeat.
What I said was,
Never mind.
So roll a perception check at this point to focus your thoughts and your eyesight at this point on the license plate. Because now that you think about it, you're like, yeah, I probably rattled that off too fast.
90.
All right.
Nice.
So she breaks it down military style. With the appropriate codes and everything. She finally focused a second and goes, "Okay, yeah, I was maybe a bit too anxious for that." And as it pulls up and comes to a stop, you feel Sagan grab a hold of your shirt and tug really hard.
Are we in the way?
No, you're not in the way. But when you look at her, her eyes are like wide as saucers.
I'm gonna be like, what?
She points to her head.
Oh, she wants. Okay. We'll try this again. 54.
On your without even looking at, that's enough to make a connection mentally.
That should do it.
Yeah, that's green.
Okay, 1 second. Did I get that on? I think I did get that on here. Yes. So you make the mental connection, and you end up hearing her say to you. She says, "That's Obergruppenführer Reinhard Heinrich."
That's the boss that we're looking for.
She says in her head, she says, "No, he's supposed to be dead."
What? Is he one of those super soldiers?
She kind of sighs for a second, and but her hand is twitching, and she as he's getting into the car, she, without breaking down what any of it means, she asks you for permission to terminate.
Hold, please. If I jump over to Mark, do I need to roll again?
No, you've already got an established connection with him, and he's not terribly far, so it's not going to strain your connection.
Hey, Sagan says the guy in this car is supposed to be dead, and she wants to shoot him.
Why does she feel the need to kill him?
His name is...
You've got about 2 more seconds to react to this at this point before the car is driving away. If you would like to take a moment, and at this point, since you're not there directly, hold on 1 second. Posting this up in the Discord chat. Feel free to Google that name.
Discord chat.
I have a feeling it's going to be a very evil person. Yeah, like I said, very evil person.
Oh, okay. Jeez.
I read the first 2 sentences on the wiki. I'm like, yeah, evil person.
All right. Wow.
By the way, I have 21,000 channel points.
Nice.
Oh, congrats.
I have a few more than that. We need to figure out what we can do with them.
There are reroll redeemables.
Yeah, I quietly updated that not too long ago.
Okay, so would that name have, like, would I have recognized that name?
I'll give you an intuition check for it. I mean, it's been a while, and you clearly weren't alive during that time frame.
72 on Incredible.
Yeah. So I'll let one of you guys let her know. Since you looked it up, who is he?
I looked it up too.
Oh, did you? Okay.
So for the folks at home, he was a high-ranking German SS and police official during the Nazi era and a principal architect of the Holocaust, chief of the Reich Security Main Office. Not a cool dude.
So when you think Gestapo, you think this guy.
Okay,
Which since you guys now know who he is and you know what the citizenry were believing, all of it suddenly makes a lot more sense.
okay, so shooting him would create more issues with what we're trying to do here, probably, right?
He needs to be stopped rather than killed.
Right.
So
Do we have any way of following him?
at this point they're driving away.
I'll ask Sagan if we can put him on ice somehow, if she has that capability.
But she says no, plasma does not have that capability. And she just watches, and she angrily watches him driving away, but she's, did not receive the order to kill, so she's not acting.
Is there any way that we can, let's go around to the front of the building, or I guess follow. Wait, is the car going in the direction of where Mark is?
Yeah, it's about to turn past him.
Okay, then let's run over there to meet up with Mark, and then see if we can follow the car or something, track it maybe.
Are there any taxis or anything going by?
Yes, there are. Hey, how's it going, Alex? Alex is currently in the chat.
Hey. So then, as Lightbringer and Sagan are making their way to me, I'm trying to flag down a taxi so we can try to pursue Heinrich.
Okay. So yeah, you're able to flag down a taxi at this point. You're gonna do the follow that car.
Yeah, in Spanish, of course. Follow that car.
I figured as much. Okay. So, are you just going yourself, or are you waiting for Sagan and Lightbringer to show up?
I'm waiting for them to show up.
Okay. So, you guys run across the street, get to this cab that Mark has hailed, and the guy's about to drive away as the door suddenly, gets thrown open to what initially looked like nobody as the two of you jump into the back seat real quick. The driver's like, he thought maybe he almost hit somebody or something. He's freaking out a little bit, like what the heck? And then he starts driving on. Still kind of disturbed a little bit, because it's not often that he gets asked to go follow a car just randomly, but he's letting the flag drop go down and letting the fare kind of roll.
Okay.
Angler. So you end up getting the call, and so the head of Aegis calls you back and lets you know that he's got things temporary. He has the temporary okay at this point to bring the family in. So teleport them to the top of the Aegis building here in Strongford, and his people will take it from here.
You'll reach out to Shion. Actually, he would go through the community. No, he wouldn't, because that could be tapped. He is going to reach out with his mind to Shion.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and make that roll?
Making the roll. 58. I think that's going to be good no matter what.
Yep. Making the roll, da 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 da. Making the roll, making the roll.
Hold on, let me take my hair down and then I can do a proper headbang.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, 58's a green.
Yep.
Shion.
Yo.
All right, we are good to go. You can take them to the top of the Aegis building. You remember where that is?
Yeah.
All right, you're good to go for that. Then he's going to reach out to Mark.
Okay.
That's going to require another roll.
That's going to be an 87.
Sweet.
So that's good.
100101011. Mark, Hyperion, we have approval for the transportation. Sean's working on that right now. What's y'all's guys' status?
Excellent. We are all in a cab pursuing an individual. I can't say out loud who he is at the moment because of the cab driver.
This is telepathy.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, scratch that. Yeah, in Hyperion's mind, we are in a cab in pursuit of Reinhard Heydrich.
The Nazi prick?
Correct. He is
Oh, sorry,
apparently
Hard-
alive.
Wasn't he supposed to die during the Second World War?
That is what the history texts say, but apparently he is alive. We are in pursuit.
By the way, he probably would understand who he was.
Oh, yeah.
Military, you know.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, why didn't y'all just like, did y'all have a chance to kill him?
We are not going to end his life. First, it would remove the ability for us to track him to see where the rest of his cohorts would be. Second, we are not murderers. We've made that mistake before. We won't do it again. We can apprehend him if need be. We will not end his life.
Then don't let me know where he's at.
Duly noted. However, with that being said,
I
please
will
let us
scorch
know.
off his legs. The shock will probably kill him.
Noted as well. As soon as you're done transporting the Alonzos, let us know so we can let you know where to teleport.
All right. As soon as Sean gets back, we'll get caught up with you guys.
Excellent.
Okay, do I need to roll, Jerome?
Yes, you do.
Okay, here we go. That is a 63. And the teleport is a
Okay.
remarkable 30.
So you gather the family all together. Oh, make it an endurance check too, by the way.
Okay.
Because that's a lot of people for a pretty big distance.
71. Yeah.
And your
71.
endurance is what?
My endurance is an incredible 40.
Yeah, I figured you'd be all right. Okay. So you take the strain of the teleport, in an instant, transport this family thousands of miles away from Buenos Aires to the top of the Aegis Foundation building, or office, I should say, in Strongford. There is already like 10 agents, waiting to take them in, as well as an attorney that is waiting there as you teleport in, and instantaneously, at this point, like, the kids are probably able to take it. For the most part, they're still kind of queasy. The parents, however, buckle over and retch on the spot.
Oh, sure.
Just completely, it was one thing to do it before. It's another thing to do it again, and it's just super disorienting.
Especially for that distance, I would think.
And at this point, the Aegis Foundation agents back in the good old US of A take it from here, take that family, and they start ushering them downstairs, and I take it you hop back?
I'm gonna hop back to the hotel room.
Okay.
And I'll use the communicator, but the only thing she's gonna say is back.
Okay. So in your little earpiece, all of you hear that she's back. Angler, you see that she comes back.
Since he hasn't broken off communication, let me know once you Hyperion, let me know once you guys come to a stop and you can give me instructions on where you're at.
Understood.
So as you are driving along, you go through traffic a bit, and the driver is trying to keep up with him. As you guys end up hitting the freeway, he does a pretty good job of keeping his eye on where you're going. The tally on the taxi, however, is going up and up.
So what? We're gonna pay like $4?
Yeah, you know, it's pretty costly in American money.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to skip that Domino's night.
Because the Domino's would have cost you $250.
Yeah, 1994.
Yeah. So, but you travel through a business section of town, and the vehicle itself ends up coming to a not stop, but it ends up pulling into a fenced off with security parking lot to the VHT building.
What does that stand for?
In essence, it's a building for public transit. So it's like a lot of other cabs and buses that are maintained by the city come here.
Hmm.
Are they like coming to a stop, or what's happening with Hydric's vehicle?
Well, at this point, the cab driver's like, "Do you need me to stop, senor?"
Let's see. So then to clarify, did the other car have they stopped, or like?
Yeah, they pulled into the building parking lot, and they've eventually come to a stop here.
They did. Okay. Okay. And say, thank you, sir. I'll pay you now. Are you willing to wait for us in case we need you again? I'll be willing to pay you more.
Sure, I could probably wait maybe 15 more minutes or so.
Excellent. I go ahead and pay him for the current fare, and I pay him like a buck's worth extra to make sure he waits that 15 minutes.
Okay. So of American money.
Balla.
Yeah. So he's just like, whoa. Okay. Thank you.
Can I do an empathy check at the other car?
Yeah, you're within range. Sure, go for it. Roll your psyche.
I was going to say the car's pretty emotionless.
Yeah, exactly.
Dang it.
I get the feeling that it needs a
30,
tune-up.
still in the white. Man, what is with my dice today?
Okay. Yeah. Maybe it's because there's too many people on the premises. You're just not able to target the people that you're wanting to, so you don't get a good enough read. Because you can see there are people. I mean, there's people at the guard shack. There's people obviously walking around on the property. Maintaining vehicles, probably in the offices and the maintenance bays as well. So, yeah, you just weren't able to get a feed directly on the person you really wanted it on.
Let's see. As I pull out some new dice. What about... Ooh, my silicone ones. Okay. Can I... Nope, that doesn't work like that. I was gonna say, can I try and like read his mind, but I guess that's my vampire mode.
Right.
That's a power stunt we don't have yet.
Nope.
Yeah.
I don't know. What should we do?
How far away is that car from us? Like, if we were to get out of the car, would they easily see us?
No.
Okay. Would there be any areas around here where we could like mill about, where it would look normal for people to mill about, or would there be other park benches?
There's a sidewalk that goes around the building.
Okay.
And then around the, and in fact, let me do this. Oops. I think this is the right place. I'm going to post this right here, and then let me double check it real fast. Yep, that is the right place. There you go. So if you want to Google Maps that, sent you the address in the chat, so you have a good visual of what the place looks like. There's a park across the street with some benches, obviously, to sit down at. The lane itself is like 3 lanes wide. There's a security fence that goes all around the place. So even if you kind of loitered a bit outside, unless you were directly in front of the security gate, that no one's really gonna pay much attention.
Okay. All right. All of us can exit. I'll head one direction uncloaked, while you two head in the other uncloaked. We'll case the area, keeping our eye on them to see if they exit their vehicle or to see what they do. Are you capable of using your psychic power to see if you can read them, to see what's happening in that car?
I can try. I don't know if it will work.
Do what you can.
Okay, so I guess we'll get out and walk sort of towards the building. And I'll try reading the empathy of the car already. I mean, again.
Well,
preposition.
I mean, at this point, you're going to have to try and find the individuals. You can't target the car because the people may not be in it.
Oh, did we see them get out? Sorry, I missed.
Yeah, I mean, I did state that they pulled in and parked.
Okay. Can I do like a broad empathy read?
Yeah, I mean, you can. There's a lot of people there, though.
A sweep?
Yeah, there's a lot of people there, so targeting the audience you're looking for, in essence, you're finding the right target. That's going to be the problem.
Meanwhile, assuming that I still have the connection with Freddy, in my mind, I say, Angler, you can meet us at this particular building. It is a public area, so when you appear, be careful and see if you can perhaps appear on top of the building. But this seems to be where Hydric has stopped for the moment.
All right, I'll let Sean know. And we do have a map now. Correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I shown where specifically it's at.
Yeah, she's Googled and she's actually looking at the street view so she can see the building itself. So
well,
Google doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, Google does not exist, nor do cell phones.
Oh gosh darn it, I keep forgetting about that.
Map
And even the Google would be like 30 years ahead of where we are right now.
It's MapQuest, and you don't have service right now.
Yeah. Gosh darn it.
It would take too long.
So it's kind of a half blind jump.
I'm assuming 30 years ago was not this well developed.
Yeah. So hold on to your seat there.
Well, keep in mind, your brother Ixion is a puddle, and he's been watching diligently the front of this hotel, and nobody's told him what's going on.
That's because we forgot about him. We're not going anywhere. I rolled a 9.
Yeah.
So, well, no. So you've already rolled. So then you're teleporting with Angler. Okay. So poof. Let's just
Then
see
I
what
gotta
happens.
go get Exion.
Remember how we had that conversation about how you were grabbed, Angler, before you had your bags and whatnot? And so this is another one of those instances where you basically said, where you experienced, okay, hey, we need to go someplace. Okay. And then you just teleport. Your first thought is you just left somebody behind.
I actually, yeah, you're right. Never mind.
So your next thought, however, is, oh, geez, that hurts. As she ends up teleporting you guys right into a park bench about a mile away. So go ahead and roll again for teleport to see if you can react quick enough to get you guys out of it. You're going to take some damage, unfortunately.
Oh, come on, dice. Oh, thank you. 93.
Okay, so 93. Okay, so you guys take... Yes, so you guys end up taking 20 points of, in essence, it's physical damage that you can't absorb because you materialized in a park bench.
Ow, 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 ow.
But she was fast enough with her reaction to port you back out of it. So she ported you back to a place where you guys knew, which was the room. And you have like this stinging feeling across your thighs, both of you, at this point where like your legs kind of materialized very, very briefly into the park bench. And when you guys come back out, you actually have like pieces of the bubble gum that people stick underneath the park bench and whatnot, like melded into your pants.
Ew. Oh, these are my designer pants too.
Deep breath. He's walking out of the room. Deep breath. Deep breath. Deep breath.
Even
That
as
was
you're
painful.
even as you're walking, you have kind of like a weird stiff waddle as your legs are getting used to bending and working with muscles again.
Okay, so what range constitutes a botch?
Well, for teleportation.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Oh, we're being rated by the Onyx Path with 11. Thank you very much, guys.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Get that Arsenio Hall going.
yep, which would be appropriate around this time frame.
Yeah, actually. Funny.
I think he
And
still
the
had a
Plastic-
show going in the
Plastic
90s.
Age Place. What's up?
Yeah, so yeah, Plastic Age Plays. Thank you very much. Friend of the channel. Interviewed me several years back. So back to what I was saying. So a botch is pretty much anything in the white result, but it depends upon what exactly it is you're doing. Like I said, with an agility check, it could just be a stumble. It could be you step in a puddle or whatnot. When you're dealing with something pretty serious, like creating like diffusing a bomb, a white result could be pretty drastic. Or in this case, blindly teleporting because you just looked at a map. That's not sufficient enough to make a blind teleport without some prep. So,
Darn Google for not being in the 90s.
yes, I know. Darn Google.
As he's leaving the room, Sean, I'll be right back. I'll be deep breath.
Okay. Sorry.
once he gets downstairs, he'll step out like, oh, you're sorry. And then he'll head back inside.
So you're doing that towards presumably the front of the hotel?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Hey,
And then he'll walk
Ixion,
past- Oh, wow. I
why
thought it
don't
was a
you
lot.
give me an intuition check?
I was like, did he go away to like scream in pain, but then he like yawned? I don't understand what's happening.
Right.
66.
Okay.
And so intuition.
Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah, even
As
if he had a TY6, that would have been probably good enough.
As he's
Okay,
walking
yeah.
by, I thought I'm not nearly. Oh,
So-
I'm more tired than I thought I was. As he
So
starts to head
basically,
back
Ixion, at this point, you started thinking to yourself like you've heard from nobody really at this point. In your puddle form, and you just happen to be looking back and forth, just like, should I go back and check in with them? And like right then, you happen to look back and see Angler at that point kind of making waving motions to you, but stretching. So maybe he was signaling you.
All right. Is there like a downspout or something like that near where I'm at that goes up towards where our room is or something?
No, because you were underneath a leaky air conditioner.
Oh, and a leaky air conditioner. Oh,
I mean, there's
And there's-
nobody standing around at this point. If you want to quickly form and pretend like you were always standing there, you could probably pull it off, so long as you're not like super loud about it.
okay.
Once he gets back upstairs, he's going to change into a fresh pair of pants.
Okay.
Yeah, Sean already did that.
Yep. Okay. So you come walking back into the room. Presumably things have gone well. You don't see the people here anymore. So they probably made they made the jump. They've got that taken care of. But they both have this really dirty, nasty looking stripe across the legs of their pants that they discarded off to the side somewhere. And they both kind of have like this awkward look about them.
Walking funny.
What seems to be your problem with your legs, I assume?
Sean's gonna kind of just grimace and try to be small.
We'll call it an accident.
Don't call it a
So-
comeback.
He points out on the map. So this is where we're headed to. You can actually see that if you wanted to, there's a river heading up that way. Jerome, about how far it is away from here?
It's several miles.
Okay.
I mean, it's definitely not out of her range.
It's possible if we wanted to, we could swim up the river, but I don't like the looks of that river, to be honest.
What about it?
This is what we call a third world city, which means not all waste goes into a special location to process it away from being waste.
If you could teleport to the to just above the level of the river near the edge, I can freeze it immediately.
We're going to teleport, but first I want Sean to take a moment to take a few deep breaths. You can do
Said
this.
I'm sorry.
Mark, is the landing still clear?
Taking a look around, is everything still clear in the area?
Yeah, I mean, two cars kind of lazily pass by, doing their thing.
The area is still clear.
All right.
So we
Concentrate.
don't want to try for the building again.
We're going to go for the building again. Deep breath.
Okay.
Now,
can this kind of be a like a
before-
reason or
before
a
you
psychic
roll,
check?
hold on one second. Before you roll, would you like to spend karma to influence your
Yeah,
die?
I was just gonna tell you I wanted to spend some karma.
Okay.
So let's spend about we're gonna do 100. So let's do it. Oh, I didn't have to. 96. Gosh darn it.
So you don't even have to roll.
Technically, you do, but it does. Ultimately, it's not going to matter because anything above a 1 is a red result,
Yeah,
and
that's
there's
true.
no way to get less than a 1 on 1d100.
Right.
I think you're underestimating me.
She's like double hot. She's like
You'll
double
have a
hot. Well, I
100
rolled a 0.
one-sided dice.
So at this point, Angler has taken Freddie has taken some time to purposely tell you to focus, to take breaths, to relax, woosah, focus on the moment, sort of thing. And then all of a sudden, the three of you are standing there at a street corner near what looks like a gas station, which is like maybe 200 feet away.
This is not the roof.
It's all right. We're here. We're in one piece.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can
Like-
see the building you guys were targeting is like literally on the other side of the gas station. You could throw a rock at it, so you're not off at all.
I look around and see if anyone saw us.
No, not that you're aware. I mean, there was somebody kind of looking at you guys, but probably doing a double take, like, did I miss them walking up, sort of thing, and shrugs it off and walks away.
So in the communicative, she's gonna say, "Here."
Jerome, quick question.
Yes.
If we kill him, even if he is war criminal,
even if he has a one-way ticket to hell,
then that will lose us all our karma.
Yes.
Okay.
Except for the bank stuff, which you have to bank at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Right.
No. Please, let's not do that today.
The character has been very well established as being anti-racist.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to let the authorities take care of that. Just saying. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, it's up to you guys at this point.
Yeah, so Hyperion thinks, assuming that communication channel is still open, excellent. If you're here, make your way to the HT building. You should be able to find myself walking along a sidewalk outside.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you guys look right down the street from the gas station. You can see him walking along the sidewalk. I mean, he's not far at all.
This isn't a small building, is it?
What's that?
The travel building is only like 2 stories?
Yeah.
Okay, making sure I'm looking at the right building.
But the property itself is kind of wide if you're looking at it.
Yeah, and this is the modern one, not including what it would have looked like in the 90s.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of basing it off of that just for, sake of
Simplicity.
argument. Yeah, simplicity.
Where did you get this location or
In
something?
the Discord channel.
Yep.
Oh.
Is it gated at this time too?
Yes.
Okay.
So then that the Hydric car has parked and it hasn't moved or anything. Is it safe to assume that everybody in that car has gotten into the VHT building at this point?
Probably yes.
Okay.
He separates away from Shone and Ixion and walks counter to whatever Mark is walking.
Okay.
And he's doing the same thing. He's he might be a little bit more subtle about it. But he is taking a look at the building through the corners of his eyes and trying to examine it up and down.
Okay. So anybody attempting to examine the building, give me some intuition checks. See if you can
Okay,
spot
that-
anything out of the ordinary.
91.
92.
33.
7. I got a 7.
5.
What is with our dice?
Look,
Just taking a walk.
pigeon. A pigeon.
Pretty bird.
I wonder if that pigeon speaks Spanish.
¿Cómo estás?
He's
El
like,
pigeon.
he's like, oh, el cool.
There you go. So those of you who rolled high,
Whereas me and Angler like counting the feathers on this bird. you know.
so you were taking opposite directions around the property. It's busy. I mean, they've clearly got servicing going on. They've got city taxi cabs going in, getting repairs. There's buses and a work bay at this point. Then there's offices off to the side, presumably where management is at, and probably dispatch of some kind. You do end up spotting the individual that you were looking for, however, walking into the office.
All right. Time to whip out some of my other abilities. He is going to go over to the park.
Okay.
He's going to sit down and he's going to pull some. No, we didn't bring any fruits. We didn't have time. So he's going to pull some crackers out of his pocket.
Okay.
And he's actually going to go start talking to the animals.
Okay.
Is that a thing you can do?
Yes. It's a rarely used ability.
Yeah. Wow.
So
I also have a focus ability, which makes me able to strengthen my abilities as well.
So Aquaman, go ahead and make the roll.
All right. 80.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Try to develop the plasma shield so I can develop a plasma form. Nothing. Talk to an animal, which is a GD8, by the way.
GD10.
Or yeah, GD10, sorry. 80 on the roll.
Yep.
Of course.
Is it a full moon or something?
Yeah, so I mean, at this point, there's a dog kind of roaming around the park, scavenging for some food,
Ray
and of course, birds, naturally.
He's more interested in the birds.
Okay.
And he tells them, I will give you plenty of food if you happen to do your business on that car. And he's going to point out the car. And he starts breaking up the crackers and letting some of it fall on the ground.
Okay, so the pigeons fly over and start, pecking at the crackers like pigeons are wont to do. Let's see if they understand your terminology here, given the fact that they're animals. Boy, you guys are lucky I am rolling really high. So,
Si, senor.
they they get the relative understanding of what it is that you mean, and so they start flying off. And
Oh, as soon as they kind of acknowledge it, I let the rest of the crackers go onto the ground.
oh, well, they come flying back real quick.
That way they have plenty of food.
Yeah, so they come flying back at this point and start tearing up the crumpled up crackers that you're dropping all over the ground.
Thank you. Mark, we're about to have a mark on that car.
Brittany,
Have
give me an
many
intuition
marks
check.
on that car.
4.
Okay. Good to know. So probably right about now, given the fact that
Nice, by the way.
given the fact that you have been failing so spectacularly on your intuition checks, you're probably super flustered knowing that that there was like an authentic Nazi boss that you just spotted, and so and the fact that you've been kind of anxious with everything that's going on, so you're just mentally a little distracted. Mark, why don't you give me an intuition check? That's because you were looking around and
Yeah.
watching the birds.
Not great. 44. Intuition is excellent. Just barely green.
Okay. So first thing you spot, of course, is your frustrated sister's look. She's just irritated, irritable, probably a little bit anxious with everything that's going on, and not, clearly, nothing seems to be going quite right for you guys at this moment. You, of course, catch the event that Freddie is cooking up right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing you notice that you only have 5 people here. And you're like, okay, well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. Weren't we 6? Where the heck is Sagan?
Over my communicator, Lightbringer, where is Sagan?
I'm going to look around.
With a new pair of dice?
I'm going to use my phone now.
Okay. Yeah. So new pair of dice. Okay.
Yeah. Digital dice.
You want me to look around with the dice?
Go right on ahead.
Like this.
71.
There you go.
I'm looking around with the dice.
That's intuition, right?
Yes.
That is in the yellow.
Sweet.
Lello.
So, I mean, at this point, now you're a little panicked because you knew she, from the first instance that you had with her, that she was very eager to put a hole in him. And as you're hastily looking around at this point, trying to find, any sign of her, you end up seeing her on top of the office building, next to an air conditioner unit, hunkered down.
Is she on our comms?
She had been patched in thanks to mainframe. Yes.
Okay. Mainframe, who she had never met.
That is correct.
I'm gonna.
Because remember, she'd been communicating to you before.
Yeah, that's true. I'm gonna click on my comms and say, Sagan, what are you doing?
No response initially.
I'm gonna respond, do not terminate.
How you doing, Vancouver by night? Greetings, programs. And then you end up hearing her say, "This man is responsible for the entire death of my family."
We're all hearing that over the comm, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And Hyperion goes, I'm sorry for your loss, and for the loss that he caused. However, we are not in the business of vengeance.
What did you just say? I didn't hear that. What did you just say in character?
Stop that thought. And then he's going to reach out because he still has that communication with Mark telepathically. All you're going to do is embolden her to take whatever action she wants. She will dig in her heels. If you sympathize and then say, don't take an action, you could remind her that once we capture him, she can toy with him as long as she doesn't kill him. But you tell her not to take action, that's the first thing she's going to do. Because I want to kill that bastard myself.
Over the intercoms, I say,
Duly
would
noted.
would it not make more sense to have him experience a prolonged agony rather than a swift, immediate death?
I lack a gas chamber to throw him in.
I'm going to say there are bigger things here at the moment. We don't want this done with civilians around. We need him apprehended, not terminated here.
His immediate death right now may cause innocent deaths similar to your family. Do you wish to be the one that would be held responsible for that potential?
Brittany,
and have many others
roll
experience
me a
the same that you
popularity
have.
check.
Yeah, that's not going to end well.
But a plus 10 to your popularity.
What?
Plus 10 to your popularity.
My public or private popularity?
Whichever is higher.
Okay.
My private popularity
Plus
is the
10?
highest. I know myself really well.
And then
I'm my own
plus 10 to the
celebrity.
roll or plus 10 to the
plus 10 to your popularity. So what popularity do you currently have that's your public or your basically
That's
your superhero
higher.
persona?
13.
So I'll give you a 13 total.
So 23 would
Okay.
be.
So 20. So you're rolling at an EX20 level.
Oh, I mean, I still rolled a 27, so
All right.
that's not as much help as you thought it might be.
Wow, Brittany.
Burn, meltdown, incinerate,
It's not my night.
disintegrate.
I should just start
your
spending
dice.
money or my karma.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So everybody, so I'll give you this much, Brittany, and I'll allow you to re-roll in a second. Anybody here can say anything that they want. You're really the only one here she's probably going to listen to because of the mandate that she has and because of who you are.
He finally comes over to the comms. Ma'am, mission priorities.
Hold on. So how do you want to phrase this, Brittany?
I'm going to say are there not others who deserve this justice as well? We can't do this in the dark. He needs to be brought to justice by the authorities.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
Yeah, can I spend karma this time?
You can.
I'm gonna add
90.
Am I still rolling at 23?
Yes.
I add 90. I got a 95.
I'm gonna add 50.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
And I rolled a 1. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
You rolled
What
a
is
1?
happening? I literally rolled a 1.
Dang.
On a D100.
Yep. There it is.
Wow. Yeah.
Good thing you spent the karma.
Yeah.
I
Good
just-
thing you
I
spent the
should
karma.
just sign off right now. I'm not going to be a help tonight.
So that puts you in a green result.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
tempted to go outside and see if it's a full moon.
So there's no comment for a couple minutes after that, and then you end up hearing her just indicate that she has eyes on the target. Second floor office.
With that information, can Hyperion see approximately where that is from where he's standing?
You could take a guess, because you don't know the layout of the office building.
Okay.
But I mean, where she's kind of hunkered down at, is
Yeah.
probably somewhere in the middle of the second floor.
Okay.
Which means she's probably, looking, at this point, she probably has peeled back part of the roof, or something, and looking in somehow.
Okay, yeah. And the building is only 2 stories
Yeah.
high?
Just 2 stories.
Okay,
Well,
Hyperion.
the office part of it is, anyways.
gotcha.
I believe you said you can see through the eyes of your clones.
Yes, I was just thinking about using 1 or 2 to see if I can get a closer look. I'll
Can
need
they
to
take whatever shape you want them to? Like maybe the shape of a rat?
They need to be similar to my shape. However, what I can do would be similar to what I've done before, would be to have them phase within walls, or in this case, the ceiling, and be upside down. That way, first floor individuals wouldn't see them, and nobody else would see them. There would just be a small portion that would be visible, but I would do my best to make sure that they couldn't be seen.
Could you do maybe the shape of a snake?
The shape and size needs to be approximately my shape and size, with minor variations. A very small or large creature wouldn't work.
Understood.
So, with that, Hyperion will go ahead and materialize just kind of a nondescript copy, but try to have it like he's floating upside down. Because if he did like the land shark thing on the second floor, he's going to be poking out into the first floor. So he's going to be upside down so that his top half is poking out through the ceiling
Okay.
of the second floor to try to stay invisible as much as possible, to try to get eyes on this guy.
Okay. So go ahead and give me a intuition check at this point.
Okay.
For the rest of you, what are you doing on the outside while he's doing this? Are you pacing? Are you setting up someplace? What y'all doing?
Well, I'm still with Exion. So I think they're still at the gas station.
No, we had met up with them. We're closer than that.
Oh, are we? Okay.
Yeah.
He's going to be looking at a map and an English to Spanish translation book while sitting in the park. But he's really paying attention to the car and hoping the pigeons did their business.
Okay. Yeah. So there is a moment there where you hear "Flight of the Valkyries."
You just killed
Yeah,
him.
you just killed Freddy.
Yeah, I know. As
fun.
you know, as a flight of pigeons come flying over, and some discarded items from their bodies come flying down across the bow of this vehicle.
Is there anybody in
little
the car?
April showers?
Jerome, is there anybody inside the car?
It's hard to tell from the distance that you guys are at, but it's not like fecal material from pigeons is going to make much of a sound.
Got a green result on the intuition check, by the way.
Okay. And okay, so as you guys are sitting out and at the park, kind of making do with whatever you can do, you end up seeing some kids that are playing in the park. They're just tossing a ball around, a baseball around, and whatnot. When one of them kind of looks off to the side, and he calls out to his other friends, and they kind of point, and they spot Mark doing his upside down flying thing, going to the building. With his clone. Mark, so you are doing the inverted land shark.
Yeah.
With your body kind of
Ceiling shark.
flying to the building.
Ceiling shark. You gotta watch out for ceiling shark.
Ceiling shark, do 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 do. Ceiling shark, do 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 do. Yeah.
Aren't we all like we've hit the hill of our age? Just saying.
So as you but you're hovering, of course, as you go.
Yeah.
And you're going to the offices, going to the walls. I mean, you're used to this part already, just kind of passing through objects, and keeping your eyes out. You end up seeing Heinrich with two other individuals in a office room, or an office room, but like a conference room, and they are currently discussing something, obviously in German.
Okay. Angler, I know you're able to speak multiple languages. Is German one of them?
German is not one of them. I was active during the Cold War, not the Second World War.
Understood. I unfortunately don't know German myself, but I will do what I can to memorize the conversation and try to translate later. Which is what I'll try to do. Use my total memory to try to memorize everything.
You've at least got that going for you.
Record button.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
basically.
can mainframe over here?
That is a good question. Probably not, given the fact that your headsets are tied directly to you, and the microphone doesn't have a gain that could extend out like that.
Right.
Okay.
But very good question.
Yeah.
Didn't he say he wanted a body?
We're going to work on that when we get back.
So he can come with us.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Who?
Mainframe.
Mainframe? We could give him a little body, a nano body.
So yeah, Hyperion's using his, copy to just observe and see if he can just get as much information as possible and record it all for figuring it out later.
Okay. So obviously it's difficult to tell what it is that they're talking about. You do see that they have a projector up, like an overhead projector, and he's sliding some slides onto the overhead projector with these two men. And what you end up seeing, it looks kind of like they're going over some plans here of some kind. It's hard to make out what exactly it is. It's definitely scientific, but the angle that you're at, and of course that it's in German, it's really hard to tell what it is. But it looks like it's perhaps a formula of some kind.
Okay.
What it's to, again, you're not certain. But then you hear Sagan come on the line, and she says, she says, I can confirm where their base is at.
In Buenos Aires?
Affirmative.
Does it sound like they're heading there?
They're currently discussing something I don't fully understand, but I did pick up enough that I know where exactly their base is at.
What do you think?
I'm going to see about recording as much of this information as I can get so that we can disseminate it later when I can translate the German. They're showing information on slides, a formula to something. I haven't been able to determine what it is exactly yet. However, once this is done, he's currently not at his base. Sagan, can you tell from what he said about how far it seems this base would be? Or did he simply provide an address?
No, she says I would need a map to point it out. It's not an address.
I see. I'll stay here for the next 2 minutes to gather as much information as possible, and then we should make our way to the base. That way, when the leader is not at the base, we'll have a greater strategic and tactical advantage at said base to see if we can locate any of the other individuals who've been kidnapped. Have you been able to gather any other information, Sagan?
Negative.
Understood. Everyone else, make sure to reconvene in one location so that we can teleport to the base once I'm finished with this reconnaissance. And then Hyperion starts walking towards the rest of the group.
Do I see the children pointing out the observation?
Oh yeah, they're just like, whoa.
He's going to reach out to Mark. Be careful, you were spotted by some children.
I see. I go ahead and have the copy, instead of like just kind of T-posing or standing, but upside down, like he'll kind of curl up more in a fetal position, maybe to make his profile a little harder to see.
Oh,
like
okay,
over the lip
sure.
of the whatever.
Yeah, sure, no problem. So the kids, start talking amongst themselves, like as it looks like a ghost, an upside down ghost or something like that, and they go darting across the street.
Am I near them? And when they're darting across the street, is that safe, or is there a car coming by?
No, it's safe for them to dart across the street. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But you're more focused on what it is that you're obtaining, in the room, as opposed to physically what you're seeing. The rest of you,
Sure.
you can see them darting across the street. It looks like they're going to the security shack.
Shoot, what kind of an illusion would discount what they just saw?
The Argentine football team?
The chupacabra.
Playing baseball. Come on, Jerome. Better.
Okay, how about I throw up an illusion? An illusion that makes it look like there's nobody in the security office, or like there's nobody in there, and maybe like a sign that says
Okay.
Don't disturb him at
Close.
lunch.
Closed,
tomorrow.
basically.
Cerrado.
Maybe
Or
Okay.
basically like we'll be back. The
right,
Okay,
something like that.
yeah, go ahead. That's quick thinking.
Um,
And of course, everyone's all like, "Oh no, she's rolling."
9.
Wow.
I guess that's an appropriate roll, trying to stop the terrorist Nazis. 9.
You know,
Oh no!
Now
it's
What
just
is happening?
Now it's time to
you
throw
can't
away
make
your
this
phone.
stuff up.
Go on Dicebot.
So
What?
at this point, Carmen is panicked. She's trying to come up with something to cover. It's not working out. Distracted or something. Does anybody else have an idea to try? Other than Mark.
Yeah, my carry-on's busy.
You could teleport the kids away.
Fall down.
You could freeze
Yeah,
them.
teleport them to somewhere.
I'm sleeping the kids.
You're going to sleep the kids?
I'm gonna sleep the kids before
Okay.
they hit the road.
Sure, go ahead.
Wow.
9.
It's a 27, but hold on. It's an amazing,
That just
and that is a
barely
great
does it.
success.
That's just barely.
So oddly enough, you guys are watching this, and again, Carmen, you can breathe a sigh of relief. And Ixion is like getting itchy trigger fingers, like he was about to ice them or something. And they just fall over like they got narcolepsy.
They're just so tired.
Angler, you take 15 points of damage.
So that has not gone away.
Right.
As you can feel the pain of it kind of searing into your arm or wherever you've got it currently placed.
By the way, we've never resolved that side story
What side story?
where he goes down into the ocean to collect water
Oh yeah.
and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, remember that.
But I'm guessing all of his
Oh,
other
yeah.
experiments have not worked up to this point.
Negative
And
Ghost
he'll
Rider
actually
pattern.
grimace at that one.
What's that?
He'll grimace.
Yep. Okay.
15 is a big chunk of his health, so
Oh yeah, considering you've already taken 20
Grimace.
from the from the teleport.
Yeah.
oh, you didn't tell us how much, so yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
it was 20.
20.
20 before. Ouch.
I don't die to a super villain, but
Yeah.
putting a couple of kids to sleep.
Did you fall unconscious?
No,
No.
I still have more than half my health.
Yeah, he's just in a little bit more pain than he expected to be, but the kids are now sleeping in the nice soft grass. You end up getting the last bit of information that you could recorded down, Mark, and you,
Right.
I guess, dispel your.
Yeah, I just poof it
Okay.
away then. And so then gather everybody that we can to the cab, assuming that it's still there.
Yeah, he's been here the whole time.
Cool.
With the tag company, he's like looking around, thinking like, "Whoa, this is going to be a hefty bill."
He's not going to get in the cab. He's going to start walking back, because there's too many people to fit into that one little bitty cab.
Okay.
Sean can go with Angler, and then they can poof wherever they need to poof.
Are you remembering Ixion this time?
Yes.
Okay.
But Ixion still has a chance to get into the cab, so
Yeah, it's up to Ixion if he wants to be poofed or.
It's fine by me. Either way.
Okay.
All right.
So I take it you're going back to the hotel.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that first, so that we can regroup and come up with a plan.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to make you roll for that. You know where that's at now. So you take the cab back at this point. He's had a nice hefty fee at this point. He is quite happy. Doesn't even have to work the rest of the day if he doesn't want to, or the week really. And you get back to the hotel.
On our way, can we stop at the bookstore again to see if they happen to have a like German to English translation book?
They
in
do.
there? Sweet. I'll get one or two, assuming that they're like different variations, so that Hyperion can do that whole thing and see if he can learn German.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
Input. More input. I'm gonna, since I have it to spend, I'm gonna let's see what result would I want. I'm gonna spend 55 karma to make sure I get at least a yellow result.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Mellow.
And yeah, that total will put me over 100.
There you go. So if you'd like to spend 100 karma to pick up the language of German.
Bam, done.
It's so convenient.
And then once the shown myself and Ixion are in a safe place,
Mm-hmm.
like no witnesses around, I'll have her teleport us back. But we're going at least 2 blocks away from the building before we do that.
Sure. No problem. But like I said, you guys get back to the hotel, no problem.
Is there any smoke or anything like that from the pearl, or
We
is
lost
it
Dale.
just pressed up against just burned into my skin?
Not visible. Unknown user.
What's that?
Where the pearl is, because he has it on a necklace right now because he's not wearing the bracer.
Yeah, so it's on your chest.
Okay.
You got a nice round kind of burn mark on your chest.
Ow.
You okay there, buddy?
Oh no, he hasn't shown anybody.
So he didn't grimace or anything?
Yeah, he
did,
grimaced, but
but we didn't see him. I do have a medical scanner and a first aid. You know what? We don't know, so that's fine.
Are you just not wanting to make that roll?
No, that
You're like pulling
Yeah,
out the
no.
scanner, you fail the roll. Freddie,
I would-
you've got cancer.
no, it was more like it was more just metagaming.
No, yeah. I get
I
it.
wouldn't have noticed. So
That's fine.
I will say it's very frustrating being in a country where I don't know how anything works and I don't and I can't even be open about any of this. So very distracted in this mission. Also, I recently found out about my mother's murder, so still a little bit distracted.
Makes a whole lot of sense.
Yep. The dice knew. You need to stop talking to your dice.
So, you're all back at the hotel at this point. It's up to you to commence with your information dissemination.
Excellent. And Hyperion puts that book down. He looks around like he's calculating things in his head, and he goes ahead and tries to understand now what was being said at that meeting.
Okay, so now that you've gone back over it, it's not as easy as you would think. at least initially, because it's still new. And you have formal German, not, what people would speak casually and, using slang and whatnot.
Yeah.
But from what you pick up, um, the formula or whatever the heck science gibberish that you saw up there that had been in German apparently was a special narcotic used to help knock out anyone with that particular gene. Basically, it works faster and it's a little bit more potent.
Specifically
and
for those with the deviant gene.
yes,
Okay.
Can you show me a hologram of the slide with the chemical on it?
Let's see. I'm not able to generate that form of hologram. However, I can simply write it out. Is there like a pencil and paper or pen
of
and
course.
paper?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever? Goes ahead and writes out like what it looks like and the formula and all of that.
And surprisingly enough, the conversation was actually in regards to their more lucrative operation, which is the selling of individuals with that gene, with the deviant gene.
So what I want to do is I want to do a reason check on the chemical.
Okay.
Just to confirm his thoughts on it and what I know about genetics. Would that be?
Yeah. You need more chemistry than anything, so you can't use genetics for it, but you can definitely still make the roll.
Okay. 49 off of a
Be a
30.
reason check.
So green results.
Okay. You don't know how exactly to fabricate it, but based upon the information you're being provided and the chemicals that they're using, it sounds like what they've probably done is created something custom, but it does sound pretty potent. It's working along the same lines as an inhibitor collar, but chemically.
He will then go ahead and write out the chemical compounds in English now that he because he does understand what's going into it.
Mm-hmm.
He will write them out so he understands them, and he's going to fold that up and put it into his pocket.
Okay.
Is there any type of role to try and memorize that information?
No.
Okay. So pocket's the best he's got. Hopefully
Sure.
I don't get wet.
Yeah. But from what you can tell, they're not taking these people and putting them in like dollhouses like you had originally thought. What they're doing what they're doing with individuals that they deem are unworthy of their level of experimentation. They're essentially using them to sell off to Senia.
Okay. Did they make any mention of the remnants?
Well, no, because they are the remnants.
They are. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm getting that like the Hydrix and the remnants are one and the same organization, more or less. Okay.
Yeah, the Hydrix are basically just a street front for them. They're from what you've gathered, they're kind of like Iran has something similar nowadays. I just can't remember the name of it offhand, but in essence, they have like it's like a civil service that they use to track down people they consider deviant within their own country and report them to like the higher authorities. So kind of like the Gestapo.
Oh yeah, like morality police or whatever. Yeah,
Kind of, yeah. But in this case, it's anybody that they deem is outside the norm, which is one of the reasons why it's very Gestapo-ish. So if you're doing something that, in essence, they don't like, and they think that they could use them, especially if it's a deviant, then they're going to roll it up under that and figure out what they can do with it and take it from there. and the Heinrichs
Okay.
are kind of like that low end initial reporting structure.
Got it. Does it seem like the Hydrix are just at their front for this area of the world and they're located elsewhere, or is this their entire operation in this area?
You get the impression from the way Hydrix was speaking that he was pretty brazen about it. Although you didn't get a direct confirmation, it almost sounds like they are deeply embedded in the government of Argentina at this point.
So we're discussing this drug or this chemical that directly affects deviants, correct?
Mm-hmm.
It makes me wonder, and I hadn't tried it yet before, but because of my genetics, Lightbringer, do you detect those genes when you scan me?
Let's find out.
Because I would assume that the combination of our common paternal genetics would be modified with my alien biology.
Jerome, I forget what I roll for this.
You're rolling for the scanner, so the scanner has a GD10.
So just roll at a GD10.
Yeah.
Would I get +1 for my emergency medicine?
No.
Or my first aid talent?
Nope.
Okay, just straight up GD10.
Yep, just straight up GD10.
Just gonna roll a double aught for this one.
I got a 98.
Yeah!
On something completely arbitrary and unimportant.
That
Nice.
means for all your stuff, you just have to use gadgets.
Yeah, no kidding.
So at this point, Mark starts coming up with the Lightbringer utility belt.
It will have everything.
Getting her all the bat gadgets she could possibly want.
Moment.
So yes, you do come up with that. It does scan. Obviously, there's a lot of non-hits because it's not necessarily keyed for his physiology. But it does pick up that particular gene. Yes.
Interesting. I will have to study this more to find out how the dynamic of that essentially genetic splicing that my parentage has created in me.
This is very curious. So, if this goes up through the government of Argentina, then clearly we can't take it to the state authorities. Should we talk to Aegis about what is going on?
It wouldn't hurt. They may have information, or they may know somebody within the Argentinian government that can help in this regard.
And obviously, this man is wanted by more than just Argentina.
He is a war criminal, technically. He could theoretically be tried anywhere.
You should be happy it was you who found it instead of me.
We are not in the business of administering judgments. As horrible as this person is.
And there is a chime on everybody's earpiece. Mainframe to legacy.
Go ahead, mainframe.
Ixion's vessel has arrived.
Out the vein.
Affirmative.
Who is piloting it?
No one has designated the pilot.
Did it fly in, or has it been transported otherwise?
Mainframe ascertains that it was flown in.
Are there any life forms on board?
Negative. I scanned no life forms.
Were there any initially?
Negative. Mainframe would not have allowed them to enter his body.
Excellent. Thank you for the update, mainframe. Xenofreeze, were you aware that your vessel had an autopilot system?
Yes.
And that may have been what they did, providing it with specific flight instructions.
It is just disturbing that they have been able to decipher and interact with my vessel.
No, that's not the disturbing thing. The disturbing thing is they set the autopilot exactly for our base.
Correct.
He looks over at Sagan now.
We know exactly where they are.
Okay, so
Do
she
you-
just starts looking at everybody else.
Do you know where our base is?
No. I was not provided that information. In fact, my understanding was I was to be watching Miss Cook specifically, which is why I'm typically around her house and not around her other activities.
Allow me to rephrase, please. Would you say it's safe to assume your primary employer knows where our base is?
Well, you're all related to Electrum, correct?
Yes, and Electrum's real base was not known.
Perhaps it was by certain select individuals. He was his primary nemesis.
That is logical. It does make sense.
He knew all sorts of things about us already.
I might regret saying it, but I'll say it. We should allow Sagan into the base at this point.
Your
However,
reasoning?
that's something to be discussed later.
I mean, it would make things a lot more convenient.
True.
But I'm surprised that you're the one to bring that up.
So am I.
The goal was not to have her report back directly where our base was exactly located at. I'm not worried about her.
If you teleported her in, then she would not know the exact location.
Yeah, it's a little late now.
If the prime individual we were trying to keep the information from knows the information already, the clandestine nature of our dealings with Sagan is a moot point.
Don't you have any sort of like innervation field or something around your base to prevent teleportation?
Teleportation, yes.
It does.
So teleporting me in would be, you couldn't do that.
We can't even teleport in.
Either way, a subject for a later time. We still have to deal with.
I don't have to know where your base is at. It's fine. I'm not dying to know.
So,
I do think it would be more convenient.
Sagan, would you like to go and scare that Nazi prick out of his current office building and have him run home to his base? His hands are kind of glowing at the moment.
She's like, to what end? I mean, if we just get him to rabbit to his base, aren't they just going to go on alert?
We don't know how many people they have. This is a great time to see how their operation works.
Is there cloaking on my ship?
No, there's not.
We could simply head to the base under cloak and dagger and perform reconnaissance as we've had before, while Hydric is not there. We have more control over the situation at this moment while he's not there. Sagan, with your information that you gleaned from Hydric, do you think using the map you could lead us to the base?
I could 100% lead you to the base using a map. What's interesting to me is that the initial intel was that there was a triumvirate that led these Nazi remnants, and it was supposed to be the Baroness von Kampf, Captain Murder, and Black Axeman. But there's no way Reinhard Heinrich is reporting to them. In my personal assessment, I should say.
All the more reason to head to the base to glean more information. Perhaps the triumvirate, or at least one of them, is there currently. If anything, they may have computer systems we can use to glean even more information, assuming we can infiltrate. Any suggestions?
All of my ideas are out of the window at the moment. I want to chase it back, and scared people make stupid mistakes.
I think we ought to confer with Aegis before we do anything actionable.
Doing that first would make sense. See if they can provide any further assistance or information.
Would it be possible to have Xenofreeze stick to one of the vehicles to infiltrate?
I can do that.
With your biomolecular structure, I am pretty certain if they are not scanning directly for deviants on their way in and out, you probably stand the best chance of getting in undetected.
Do you think you'd be capable, Xenofreeze?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Then we can use that, having you attached to Hydric's main vehicle as he travels to see if he heads elsewhere or to the base. We would have to do that quickly, because we only know his car is at the VHT momentarily.
The car's going to be a little bit easier to spot if you can see it from above. Right now, it's covered in pigeon shit.
Shion, if you don't mind me asking, did you get a good look at the vehicle?
Yeah.
Why don't you just teleport Xenofreeze inside the vehicle?
So I don't know who's inside the vehicle.
Likely no one. It's currently parked in the parking lot.
But I don't know if he has a driver.
If he teleports in his liquid form, which presumably is some sort of puddle of goo, even if you miscalculate, it's probably just going to teleport underneath him. I don't think you're going to have the same problem of teleportation, provided you're accurate, I presume.
Sometimes I am. She doesn't look over at her brother.
Considering I have quite the capability to sustain physical damage, even if there was anything taken, I would be fine.
Well, let's try for the back seat of the car.
Good luck, you two.
Okay.
She's going to take a couple deep breaths.
And visualize and teleport him? I mean,
Yep.
Naturally, you're not going with him, so you're kind of, you're basically throwing him via teleport.
Yeah. So There she goes.
Is that a thing?
Well, she rolled. So.
My goodness. Settle. That's a 78.
Okay.
Woo-woo.
So in an instant, Xenofreeze is gone.
Bamf.
And you are in the back seat of the vehicle. It wasn't perfect, like you fell into the back seat, with a little bit of a. But
Just a
otherwise,
little bounce.
you're fine.
Okay. Manipulate myself to where I am not going to actively get stepped on necessarily, but
So where are you going to seep yourself?
underneath the seat.
Okay. So go ahead and roll.
Ooh, 71 on a RM30. Oh yeah,
Okay. So yeah, you're good.
that's a yellow result.
Yeah.
So your way underneath the seat,
Right.
and because you're not, because you can control your liquid form, you're not like sloshing around or anything per se. So you are under the seat, and that is where we're going to stop for tonight. Where you guys have thrown Xenofreeze to the wolves. Dun dun dun.
We have split the party.
Hey, I still have my radio. It's just an earpiece that's somehow in me,
Yep. So
and it's muffled. It's muffled. Nobody can hear it anyway because I'm so friggin' dense anyway.
well, you can't really speak right now either because you're four. So just keep that in mind. Okay.
I can hear, but I can't
Yeah.
communicate.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, obviously, we're not going to have our next game because we're going to be traveling at that point. So the next game would actually be the 29th.
Yeah.
Halloween time.
Yep, around Halloween time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thanks for tuning in, Davey. He says, night, everyone. See y'all next time. All right, yeah, so
Hi, Davey.
thank you again all for tuning in and watching. I hope you guys had fun. I did. Regretfully, sometimes it's painful to watch the bad rolls because you really want to pull for people, but sometimes the dice
This
just don't
was like
want
a supremely bad rolling dice.
Yeah, dang.
Yeah. So outside of that, we will see you guys next time. Oh, and before we all go, Saturday night or Saturday morning, I should say, at 11 a.m., October 8th, we're going to be having Ashland by Night Blood Ties, our new vampire game coming up. So be sure to tune in there if you'd like. Check that out. It should be fun. We're going to be having Haley from Party of Two joining us for that one. So until then.
And maybe Brittany will roll better.
Maybe. All of you, have a great night. Good night, guys.
All right.
Good night.
All right.
Night.